Nigeria's National Youth Conference, the first in more than a decade, is expected to hold in the first week of February. And the 30-day gathering was introduced in response to recent youth agitations against the Nigerian government. The organizers plan to engage delegates on critical issues affecting young people in the country, and that includes the rising cost of living, unemployment, access to quality education, social services, just to name a few. We'll take a short break now. When we return, I'll be speaking to Sagir Ibrahim, who's been covering the story. He'll tell us more. Stay with us. Welcome back. Now we're going to be talking about the Nigeria Youth Conference that's going to be taking place in the first week of February. And to discuss that with me is Sagir Mohammed. He's been covering the story for us here at News Central. Thank you so much for joining us. First of all, a 30-day conference with young people. Are we talking about the same Nigerians? What are they going to be talking about?
Well, good evening, Adesha. Good evening, viewers. Thank you for having me on tonight. So a quick backstory. The President of Nigeria, President Bola Tinubu, first made the announcement for the National Youth Conference during his Independence Day address on the 1st of October of 2024. Now, since then, the President, of course, has been expectant that this conference would serve as sort of a melting pot between the government and, of course, restive youth who are taken to the street for quite a number of times. First instance in 2024, we saw the End Bad Governance protest and, of course, the aftermath of that, 10 days of consistent protesting. We saw in August as well the Fearless in October protest, which also took place all in an avenue for young Nigerians to drive home their demands to the government on what they are expecting in terms of development, in terms of all of the issues that, they've been facing. So the president is hoping that all of these issues will be discussed during this conference, which would serve, as a dialogue. Now, during the course of my interaction with some Nigerians, they've expressed mixed views, of course, if you may, in terms of expectations. Now, I spoke with a public affairs analyst, of course. I spoke also with a legal practitioner and a communications expert, all of whom had this to say on the matter. Take a look.
It's 2005 political confab under Obasanjo. We had 2014 national conference under Goodluck Jonathan that came up with about 600 recommendations. Many of them were never touched.
We've had incidents where, over time, gatherings of this nature, huge gatherings of this nature are taking place. But up to date, I'm not sure that we've seen that transform the well-being of youth.
Why confab? There are so many channels that the government can try to reach the youth. Then how are delegates going to be selected? Who are those that are going to be recommending these delegates? Because if at the end of the day, you end up gathering 90% of youths that are pro-government, you're not doing anything.
All of this looks very well intended. For 30 days, these conversations are going to be happening and taking place. I hope it is televised live. I hope they have, we're going to be taking it live. Is this going to be another talk shop, is what I hear in my head, some young people asking. Do you think?
Well, Adesha, it's the same question that's in my head as well. And of course, I asked these questions to some of the respondents. Well, they gave varying responses on the issues. While some of them feel that it's probably just going to be a leaf from the old note. This is not the first time, of course, that Nigeria has had, a conference such as this. Although it was not a youth conference, but we saw something similar, take place in around 2014 or thereabout when the former president, Goodluck Jonathan, had occasioned a national conference, hopefully to address the issues. But then again, the recommendations from that conference, there's a lot to be desired in terms of implementation of that recommendation. And Nigerians did not shy away from, of course, letting all of this known. Still talking with the same individuals who responded, they had this to say regarding concerns, especially on the issue of implementation of the recommendations that may come out of the conference. Take a look.
We need to give the administration benefit of doubt. Is this a welcome development? It is. Hear them out. Let them bring their own ideas on how governance could be better done. then government will sift through it. But what I would not want is to kill whatever recommendation in view.
My concern is really with the mobilization for that confab. It shouldn't be business as usual. The mobilization should be robust, such that an average Nigerian who ordinarily does not care about what happens in government should be given an opportunity to come and discuss how it pinches them in their shoe, because it was a protest that bordered on survival.
We have a huge implementation problem in Nigeria. Things are so bad right now between government and the youth that even if it's a 10% show of good faith,
we need to give the administration benefit of doubt. Is this a welcome development? It is. Hear them out.
Sagir Ibrahim, News Central's correspondent, thank you so much for that excellent reporting on the Nigeria Youth Conference that's coming up in the first week of February. I know you keep an eye on it, so we'll be telling our viewers how it is going when the time comes. Thank you.
Pleasure, Adesha. Thank you very much.